A corruption inquiry in Sydney has been hearing a second day of evidence from former New South Wales Mining Minister Ian McDonald. He's denied rigging the tender process to benefit his former Labor ministerial colleague Eddie Obeid. Mr McDonald has also been reprimanded for not directly answering questions. ABC reporter Jamelle Wells has been covering the inquiry. Welcome to the Drum.
Thank you.
Can you tell us what happened today? What was the gist of the evidence put forward?
Well, it was Ian McDonald's second day in the witness box, and today he said that when he ordered a tenement over a block of land in the Bylong Valley, a huge amount of land I should say, he didn't know that it was owned by the Obeid family, and he said he found that out by reading it in a newspaper. And then after he did that, he became very upset with Eddie Obeid, and he said they had a big falling out. But he was then forced to admit that he still did business with the Obeid family after the falling out. He kept in close contact with them, and he talked about coal deals with them overseas. And he said that he didn't declare that the Obeids owned the land to either Parliament or to the Labor Party because no one asked him the question at the time. He said, I just didn't think to do that.
And it never came up in conversations. Can you tell us about some of the 40-odd coincidences that they were trying to unravel today?
Oh, yes, and the counsel assisting actually only got to 39 of those, and he said he didn't want to disappoint the general public, but he'd just miscounted. There were allegations that emails were exchanged. There were allegations that Ian McDonald had spoken to Eddie Obeid and then the very next day directed his staff to draw up this mining tender. And he told the ICAC today that that wasn't the case. He said, I didn't direct my staff to do that. But we've previously heard two of those staff tell the inquiry that he did tell them to do that. And the counsel assisting said to him today, well, one of those former staffers is a very honest man and a man of great integrity. And Ian McDonald said, yes, so am I. And the counsel assisting said, well, I don't want to comment on that. And also today, at the very end of the evidence, the counsel assisting put to him, you're a crook. He said, what do you have to say about that? And Ian McDonald said, that's an outright lie. So ended a little feisty. His first day in the witness box, he was very subdued and reserved. Today he got fired up and was giving it right back to the counsel assisting and the commissioner.
And what was it particularly that needled him? Was there a point at which he lost his cool?
All the questions about his relationship with the Obeid family and about his declaration of money when he was in Parliament. He was in office for a long time and held a couple of portfolios, and there have been allegations that he received huge kickbacks when he was in Parliament to nurse certain projects through. We didn't quite get to those today. He's expected to be asked about them tomorrow. But what we did hear again today was reference to that now infamous Obeid family lodge at Perisher. And he was asked why he stayed at the lodge for free and why they picked up his food bill that amounted to something like $800 for 2 short stays. And he told the ICAC that it was hospitality, and he said, look, you know, I would have done the same for the Obeids if they were staying in my house.
Yeah, right. And of course, calling someone a crook is one thing and imputations another. Evidence actually stacking up is a third. I mean, do you have any sense of how it's progressing in sheer evidence and the weight of it today?
Well, really, it's as if the smoking gun hasn't yet sort of been here. The allegations that are very strong are the allegations Ian McDonald received all these kickbacks and incentives or was offered them, and they haven't been raised yet. That's probably what we'll hear about tomorrow. But the ICAC is not a court, it's like a royal commission, and the commissioner can only fine corrupt conduct and then recommend this to the DPP. And if the DPP decides this will hold up in a court, charges could be laid, and then it could take several years for this to even get to some sort of hearing.
Is what has been admitted in ICAC, can that be admitted in the court or not? Or is everything that's said in ICAC not admissible in court proceedings?
Well, some of the witnesses take an oath and they take what's called, I think, a Section 38 or something, which means some of what's said can't.
Right.
But it's up to the DPP to decide if criminal charges will be laid. And there's been speculation that Eddie Obeid, if corrupt conduct is found against him, for example, he's now nearly 70, I think. So by the time this goes through the courts, if he is charged with any offence and if he is in fact found guilty after a court hearing, there's speculation that he probably wouldn't receive a substantial jail sentence or a custodial sentence. We can't say what that would be. That would be up to a judge. But from past ICAC inquiries I've sat through, when people are found to have acted corruptly and charged, they've been given suspended sentences or community work, or they've even been given short jail terms that have then been overturned on appeal. I think one former councillor from the Wollongong Council scandal served a very short jail sentence. He spent about 3 months behind bars. So it's not as if a lot of people have actually gone to jail. But since this hearing has started, there have been calls for a few things. A, for the Crime Commission to freeze the assets of the Obeid family. Also calls for a special prosecutor to be put in place to deal with this matter. And that's because the allegations are involving such substantial amounts of money, hundreds of millions of dollars, and money that the ICAC says should have gone to the people of New South Wales.
Right. And what was the mood today in the court? I mean, I understand it's been quite... Some of the people in the public gallery have treated it as quite a spectacle.
Well, tense in the witness box, but 2 public galleries operating for this inquiry, Level 7 and Level 21. Level 21, a bit of a party atmosphere happening. Level 7, it's a bit more serious. Today there was a queue from about 10 to 8 in the morning to get in, and a little spat broke out in the queue. One fellow, we understand, walked to the front with a tray of takeaway coffees, giving them to friends in the line, and others accused him of pushing in and usurping their place. So a war of words broke out. ICAC staff were called over, appealed for calm, told people in the line to compose themselves. They would get a go in the public gallery, and they've got a number system now, so they actually give out numbers to people as they go in, and when they come back during the lunch break, they have to show those numbers again to get access to the public gallery. Level 21 upstairs, a lot of what's being said is broadcast on TV screens outside, so people are walking around and coming and going and watching what's happening on the TV screens in a foyer, because the public gallery up there is full as well. So every day there'd be a couple of hundred people coming. Today there were 2 fellows in the public gallery with little stripy hats with propellers on the top, and I asked, why are you wearing them? What's the significance? And they said, oh, just to get into the atmosphere. You know, it's so much fun.
Right. Thanks so much for that report, Jamelle, and that is all for The Drum tonight. Thanks also to our robust panel, Peter Fitzsimons, Simon Cowan, and in Brisbane, Scott Stevens. You can check out The Drum online at abc.net.au/The Drum. Join us again, same time tomorrow. We'll see you then.